That's another thing that's so important, is like the entire psychiatric apparatus. That's the first thing that has been such a successful thing for these Nazi fascists, is anybody who says, hey, it wasn't Oswald that killed JFK, all of a sudden, oh no, they're psycho, they're insane, they're these grassy knollers. In fact, that's exactly what one of the spokespeople during 9/11 for the Bush administration said, that Arlie Fleischer or whatever, he was like, yeah, they're the grassy knollers. And so I'm like, exactly, you're the Nazis, you use the psychiatric BS to protect yourself from people going and actually finding out about Sturgis and the truth about what happened at JFK. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg. And if you look, there's so many wonderful videos. I mean, there's a Zapruder film that shows clearly the JFK's head from the front. The Mary Mormon photo with the three people standing on the grassy knoll behind the fence, Sturgis, Gordon Arnold, and E. Howard Hunt. I mean, you can't see the details of their faces, but Gordon Arnold came forward on the men who killed Kennedy, which is a good video. I mean, at least 1/10 of it is, and Gordon Arnold was just with the U.S. Army. Hey, what's this guy from the U.S. Army doing out there with an 8mm camera filming next to Sturgis? And we're to believe Gordon Arnold's story about how, Sturgis comes up to him and says, they talk about his camera after he shot JFK. Yeah, he was running his ass off towards the freaking bag. He wasn't going to sit around with some guy with the camera. Arnold was there for the Army, or the Nazi part of the Army. It's amazing, like all this time with like the Red Scare, the Communist Scare. Hey, there should have been a Nazi scare. Because, Prescott Bush and all these other people, they came in Dulles, they were all linked physically to the actual German Nazis. I mean, and Nazism, eugenics, actually came out of the USA. It's unbelievable that some of those ideas that spurred Adolf Hitler came right out of the USA. It's shocking and disgusting. But there are Nazis right here in the USA. They have a lot of power. They don't go by the name Nazi or whatever, but they're just, white supremacists. They're just white conservatives, and they're Bush, the family, basically. Prescott actually did go by the Nazi title, probably, But anyway, that's what they're going to say, is like, oh, anybody who says anything about 9/11 is insane, and that's been such a wonderful defense for them. It's been so amazing, like, oh, I guess so. I guess we can throw out the truth, all the physical evidence. If you look there's a guy named Bob Gordon or something, what's his name, who did a wonderful DVD, how these people were like Stalin-esque, total fascism with a Photoshop, They totally they wouldn't go with the actual photographs from the autopsy, and they totally changed the X-ray so that, they totally changed it, you have to see the video. Bob Groden, I think is his name. Just do a search for him and get this video, the DVD. It's unbelievable. They moved the bullet hole on JFK down to his back. They wouldn't go with the photos of the autopsy. They had to have it drawn, the Warren Commission. They drew these photos. It's straight out of a Stalin, erasing Vladimir Lenin from the photo, or erasing, what's his name? Trotsky from the Lenin photos, it's like just pure Nazi to the extreme, pure Stalinist type of photoshopping of the, whatever, photographic changing of stuff. It's so disgusting. It's just like Orwell, the type of stuff that they did and were successful at doing. I'm like, when are the people in the USA going to wake up? It's like, come on. I can't believe how disgusting things have gotten, and 9/11 is just like this new, massive, disgusting, mass murder that we have to uncover now. And all the people who say no, 9/11 was an inside job. Of course, all the murderers and the supporters of the murderers, and many of those who are just believe what is beamed onto their head and believe the propaganda are going to be like, oh no, you're insane. You're insane for thinking, I'm like, hey, take a look at any of these videos that detail some of the evidence. The evidence is overwhelming. There is so much evidence that 9/11 was an inside job. And to me, I just think it's proof that how unbelievably, uneducated the people are on planet Earth to sit there and watch a building crumble to dust with little plumes of explosive smoke coming out of it, dripping with molten metal, on the base for 2 weeks or something, and they think, no, it's still a gravitational collapse, a tiny hole in the Pentagon. You know, I mean, how could it be? You know, the entire thing has to fall apart, and we have to go and then arrest all these idiots who were involved in 9/11. You know, it's just shocking. Of course, we can't get back the hundreds of thousands who have died and been murdered as a result of this massive Nazistic event of our generation.